we present Ian McKellen as Romeo and Anna Calder-Marshall as Juliet in Romeo and Juliet by William Shakespeare, with Patricia Routledge, Robert Eddison, Ronald Pickup, Margaret Tyzack, and Joseph O'Connor.
Two households, both alike in dignity. In fair Verona, where we lay our scene, from ancient grudge break to new mutiny, where civil blood makes civil hands unclean. From forth the fatal loins of these two foes, a pair of star-crossed lovers take their life, whose misadventured piteous overthrows doth with their death bury their parents' strife. The fearful passage of their death-marked love and the continuance of their parents' rage, which but their children's end naught could remove, is now the 2 hours' traffic of our stage, the which if you with patient ears attend, what here shall miss, our toil shall strive to mend.
Gregory, on my word, we'll not carry coals.
No, for then we should be colliers.
I mean, if we be in collar, we'll draw.
I strike quickly, being moved.
But thou art not quickly moved to strike.
The dog of the house of Montague moves me. Shh! Draw that too. Here comes of the house of Montague.
The quarrel is between our masters and us their men. Let us take the law of our size and let them begin.
I will frown as I pass by, and let them take it as they list.
Nay, as they dare. I will bite my thumb at them, which is disgrace to them if they bear it.
Do you bite your thumb at us, sir?
I do bite my thumb, sir.
Do you bite your thumb at us, sir?
Is the Lord of our side if I say aye?
No.
No, sir. I do not bite my thumb at you, sir. But I bite my thumb, sir.
Do you quarrel, sir?
Quarrel, sir? No, sir.
But if you do, sir, I am for you. I serve as good a man as you.
No. Better.
Well, sir?
Say better. Here comes one of my master's kinsmen.
Yes, better, sir.
You lie!
Draw, if you be men! Gregory, remember thy swashing blow!
Part, fools! Part! Put up your swords, you know not what you do!
What art thou drawn among these heartless hinds? Look upon thy death.
I do but keep the peace. Put up thy sword, or manage it to part these men with me.
Art drawn and talk of peace? I hate the word as I hate hell, all Montagues, and thee. Have at thee, coward!
What noise is this? Give me my long sword, ho!
Craft, why call you for a sword?
My sword, I say! Old Montague is come and flourishes his blade in spite of me.
Thou villain, Capulet!
Thou villain, Montague!
Hold me not! Let me go!
Rebellious subjects, enemies to peace, on pain of torture from those bloody hands, throw your mistempered weapons to the ground and hear the sentence of your moved prince. 3 civil brawls, bred of an airy word by thee, old Capulet, and Montague, have thrice disturbed the quiet of our streets, and made Verona's ancient citizens cast by their grave, beseeming ornaments to wield old partisans in hands as old, cankered with peace to part your cankered hate. If ever you disturb our streets again, your lives shall pay the forfeit of the peace. For this time all the rest depart away. You, Capulet, shall go along with me, and Montague, come you this afternoon to know our further pleasure in this case. Once more, on pain of death, all men depart.
Who set this ancient quarrel new approach? Speak, nephew. Were you by when it began?
Here were the servants of your adversary and yours, close fighting ere I did approach. I drew to part them. In the instant came the fiery Tybalt with his sword prepared. While we were interchanging thrusts and blows, came more and more, and fought on part and part, till the prince came, who parted either part.
Oh, where is Romeo? Saw you him today? Right glad I am he was not at this fray.
Madam, an hour before the worshipped sun peered forth the golden window of the east, a troubled mind drave me to walk abroad, where underneath the grove of sycamore that westward rooteth from this city's side, so early walking, did I see your son. Towards him I made, but he was ware of me, and stole into the covert of the wood.
Many a morning hath he there been seen, with tears augmenting the fresh morning's dew, adding to clouds more clouds with his deep sighs. But all so soon as the all-cheering sun should in the farthest east begin to draw the shady curtains from Aurora's bed, away from light steals home my heavy son, and private in his chamber pens himself, shuts up his windows, locks fair daylight out, and makes himself an artificial night. Black and portentous must this humour prove, unless good counsel may the cause remove.
My noble uncle, do you know the cause?
I neither know it nor can learn of him.
See where he comes. So please you step aside. I'll know his grievance or be much denied.
I would thou wert so happy by thy stay to hear true shrift. Come, madam, let's away.
Good morrow, cousin.
Is the day so young?
But new struck 9.
Ay me, sad hours seem long. Was that my father that went hence so fast?
It was. What sadness lengthens Romeo's hours?
Not having that which having makes them short.
In love?
Out
of love?
Out of her favour when I am in love.
Alas, that love, so gentle in his view, should be so tyrannous and rough in proof.
Alas, that love, whose view is muffled still, should without eyes see pathways to his will. Where shall we dine? Oh, me. What fray was here? Yet tell me not, for I have heard it all. He has much to do with hate, but more with love. Why then, oh brawling love, oh loving hate, oh anything of nothing first create, oh heavy lightness, serious vanity, misshapen chaos of well-seeming forms, feather of lead, bright smoke, cold fire, sick health, still waking sleep, that is not what it is. This love feel I, that feel no love in this. Dost thou not laugh?
No, coz. I rather weep.
Good-hearted what?
At thy good heart's oppression.
Why, such is love's transgression. Griefs of mine own lie heavy in my breast, which thou wilt propagate, to have it pressed with more of thine. This love that thou hast shown doth add more grief to too much of mine own. Love is a smoke made with a fume of sighs, being purged, a fire sparkling in lovers' eyes, being vexed, a scene nourished with loving tears. What is it else? A madness most discreet, a choking gall, and a preserving sweet. Farewell, my cousin.
Soft, I will go along, and if you leave me so, you do me wrong.
Tut, I have lost myself. I am not here. This is not Romeo. He's some other where.
Tell me, in sadness, who is it that you love?
In sadness, cousin, I do love a woman.
I aimed so near when I supposed you loved.
A right good markman, and she's fair, I love.
Oh, right fair mark, fair coz, is soonest hit.
Well, in that hit you miss. She'll not be hit with Cupid's arrow. She hath Dian's wit, and in strong proof of chastity well armed, from love's weak childish bow she lives uncharmed.
Then she hath sworn that she will still live chaste.
She hath forsworn to give, and in that vow do I live dead, that live to tell it now.
Be ruled by me. Forget to think of her.
Oh, teach me how I should forget to think.
By giving liberty unto thine eyes. Examine other beauties.
'Tis the way to call hers exquisite, in question more. Show me a mistress that is passing fair. What doth her beauty serve? But as a note where I may read who passed that passing fair. Farewell. Thou canst not teach me to forget.
I'll pay that doctrine, or else die in debt.
But Montague is bound as well as I in penalty alike. And 'tis not hard, I think, for men so old as we to keep the peace.
Of honourable reckoning are you both, and pity 'tis you lived at odds so long.
But now, my lord, what say you to my suit?
But saying all what I have said before. My child is yet a stranger in the world. She hath not seen the change of 14 years. Let 2 more summers wither in their pride, ere we may think her ripe to be a bride.
Younger than she, our happy mother's maid.
And too soon marred are those so early made. But woo her, gentle Paris, get her heart. My will to her consent is but a part. This night I hold an old accustomed feast, whereto I have invited many a guest, such as I love, and you among the store, one more most welcome makes my number more. Come, go with me. Peter!
Sir?
Go, sirrah. Trudge about through fair Verona, find those persons out whose names are written there, and to them say, my house and welcome on their pleasure stay.
Find them out whose names are written here. Well, it is written that the shoemaker should meddle with his yard, the tailor with his last, the fisher with his pencil, and the painter with his nets. But I am sent to find those persons whose names are here writ, and can never find what names the writing person hath here writ. Oh, I must have a learned. Oh, a good time.
Tut, man, one fire burns out another's burning, one pain is lessened by another's anguish. Take thou some new infection to thy eye, and the rank poison of the old will die.
God give you God den. I pray, sir, can you read?
Aye, mine own fortune in my misery.
I pray, can you read anything you see?
Aye, if I know the letters and the language.
Say honestly. Rest your merry.
Stay, fellow. I can read.
Oh.
Signor Martino and his wife and daughters, Signor Placentia and his lovely nieces, Mercutio and his brother Valentine, my uncle Capulet, his wife and daughters, my fair niece Rosaline. Livia, Signor Valentio and his cousin Tybalt, Lucia and the lively Helena. A fair assembly. Whither should they come?
Up.
Whither, to supper?
To our house.
Whose house?
My master's.
Indeed, I should have asked you that before.
And I'll tell you without asking. My master is the great rich Capulet. And if you be not of the house of Montagues, I pray come and crush a cup of wine. Rest you merry.
At this same ancient feast of Capulet sups the fair Rosaline whom thou so lovest, with all the admired beauties of Verona. Go thither, and with unattainted eye compare her face with some that I shall show, and I will make thee think thy swan a crow.
One fairer than my love. The all-seeing sun as saw her match since first the world begun.
Tut, you saw her fair, none else being by, herself poised with herself in either eye. But in that crystal scales let there be weighed your lady's love against some other maid that I will show you, shining at this feast, and she shall scant show well that now seems best.
I'll go along. No such sight to be shown, but to rejoice in splendour of mine own.
Where's my daughter? Call her forth to me.
Now, by me maidenhead a 12-year-old, I bade her come.
What lamb? What ladybird?
God forbid, where's this girl?
What? Juliet?
I know who calls.
Your mother.
Madam, I'm here.
What is your will? Thou knowest my daughter's of a pretty age.
Faith, I can tell her age unto an hour.
She's not 14.
I lay 14 of my teeth, and yet to my teen be it spoken of before. She is not 14. How long is it now to Lammastide?
A fortnight and odd days.
Even or odd, of all days in the year, come Lammas Eve at night shall she be 14. Susan and she, God rest all Christian souls, were of an age. Well, Susan is with God. She was too good for me. But as I said, on Lammas Eve at night shall she be 14. That she shall marry. Ah, I remember it well. 'Tis since the earthquake now 11 years, and she was weaned, and never shall forget it, of all the days of the year upon that day. For I then laid wormwood to me dog, sitting in the sun under the dove-house wall. My lord and you were then at Mantua. Nay, I do bear a brain. But as I said, when it did taste the wormwood on the nipple of me dog, and felt it bitter, pretty fool to see it tetchy and fall out with the dog. And since that time it is 11 years. For then she could stand, she could have run and waddled all about. For even the day before, she broke her brow, and then my husband, God be with his soul, he was a merry man, took up the child. Yea, quoth he, dost thou fall upon thy face? Thou wilt fall backward when thou hast more wit. Wilt thou not, Jule? And by me holy dame, the pretty wretch left crying and said, aye. To see now how a jest shall come about. Oh, I warranted I should live 1,000 years, I never should forget it. Wilt thou not, Jule, quoth he, and pretty fool it stinted and said, aye.
Enough of this, I pray thee, hold thy peace.
Yes, madam. But I cannot choose but laugh. To think it should leave crying and say, aye. And yet I warrant it had upon its brow a bump as big as a young cockerel stone. A perilous knock, and it cried bitterly. Yea, quoth my husband, forced upon thy face, thou wilt fall backward when thou comest to age. Wilt thou not, Jule? It stinted and said, aye.
Stint thou too, I pray thee, nurse, say I.
Peace I have done. God mark thee to his grace, thou wast the prettiest babe that e'er I nursed. And I might live to see thee married once, I have my wish.
Marry is the very theme I came to talk of. Tell me, daughter Juliet, how stands your disposition to be married?
It is an honour that I dream not of.
An honour? Oh, were not I thine only nurse, I would say thou art sucked wisdom from thy teat.
Well, think of marriage now. Younger than you, here in Verona, ladies of esteem are made already mothers. Thus, in brief, the valiant Paris seeks you for his love.
Oh, a man, young lady, such a man as all the world. Why, he's a man of wax.
Verona's summer hath not such a flower.
There is a flower, in faith, a very flower.
Speak briefly. Can you like of Paris, love?
I'll look to like, if looking liking move. But no more deep will I endart mine eye than your consent gives strength to make it fly.
Oh, madam, the guests are come. Supper served up. You called. My young lady asked for. The nurse cursed in the pantry. And everything in extremity. I must hence to wait. Well, I beseech you, follow straight.
We follow thee. Juliet, the county stays.
Go, girl. Seek happy nights and happy days.
Let them measure us by what they will. We'll measure them a measure and be gone.
Give me a torch, I'm not for this ambling. Being but heavy, I will bear the light.
Nay, gentle Romeo, we must have you dance.
Not I, believe me. You have dancing shoes with nimble soles. I have a soul of lead so stakes me to the ground I cannot move.
Come, knock and enter, and no sooner in, but every man betake him to his legs.
A torch for me. Let wanzons, light of heart, tickle the senseless rushes with their heels. I'll be a candle holder and look on.
Come, we burn daylight, ho.
No, that's not so.
I mean, sir, in delay. We waste our lights in vain. Light lights by day. Oh, take our good meaning, for our judgment sits 5 times in that air, once in our 5 wits.
And we mean well in going to this masque, but 'tis no wit to go.
Why, may one ask?
I dreamt a dream tonight.
And so did I.
Well, what was yours?
That dreamers often lie.
In bed asleep, while they do dream things true.
Ah, then I see Queen Mab hath been with you.
Queen Mab? What's she?
She is the fairy's midwife. And she comes in shape no bigger than an agate stone on the forefinger of an alderman, drawn with a team of little atomies over men's noses as they lie asleep. Her wagon spokes made of long spinners' legs, the cover of the wings of grasshoppers, her traces of the smallest spider's web, her collars of the moonshine's watery beams, her whip of cricket's bone, the lash of film, her wagoner a small grey-coated gnat, not half so big as a round little worm pricked from the lazy finger of a maid. Her chariot is an empty hazelnut, made by the joiner squirrel or old grub, time out of mind the fairies' coachmakers. and in this state she gallops, night by night, through lovers' brains, and then they dream of love. On courtiers' knees that dream on courtesies straight, or lawyers' fingers who straight dream on fees, or ladies' lips who straight on kisses dream, which oft the angry mab with blisters plagues, because their breaths with sweetmeats tainted are. Sometimes she gallops on a courtier's nose, and then dreams he of smelling out a suit. And sometimes comes she with a tithe pig's tail, tickling a parson's nose as a lies asleep, and then dreams he of another benefice. Sometimes she driveth on a soldier's neck, and then dreams he of cutting foreign throats, of breeches, ambuscados, Spanish blades, of healths 5 fathom deep, and then anon drums in his ear, at which he starts and wakes, and being thus frighted, swears a prayer or two, and sleeps again. This is that very mab that plats the manes of horses in the night, and bakes the elf locks in foul sluttish hairs, which once untangled much misfortune bodes. This is the hag, when maids lie on their backs, that presses them and learns them first to bear, making them women of good carriage. This is she.
Now, peace, Mercutio. Peace. Thou talk'st of nothing.
True, I talk of dreams, which are the children of an idle brain, begot of nothing but vain fantasy, which is as thin of substance as the air, and more inconstant than the wind who woos even now the frozen bosom of the north, and being angered puffs away from thence, turning his side to the dew-dropping south.
This wind you talk of blows us from ourselves. Supper is done, and we shall come too late.
I fear too early, for my mind misgives some consequence, yet hanging in the stars shall bitterly begin his fearful date with this night's revels, and expire the term of a despised life closed in my breast by some vile forfeit of untimely death. But he that hath the steerage of my course, direct my sail. On, lusty gentlemen, strike drums!
Welcome, gentlemen. Ladies that have their toes unplagued with corns will have a bout with you. My mistresses, which of you all will now deny to dance? She that makes dainty, she, I'll swear, hath corns. Am I come near you now? You are welcome, gentlemen. Come, musicians, play. A hole, give room, and foot it, girls.
What lady is that which doth enrich the hand of yonder knight?
Oh, I know not, sir.
Oh, she doth teach the torches to burn bright. It seems she hangs upon the cheek of night as a rich jewel in an Ethiop's ear. Beauty too rich for use, for earth too dear. So shows a snowy dove trooping with crows, as yonder lady or her fellows shows. The measure done, I watch her plaintive stand, and, touching hers, make blessed my rude hand. Did my heart love till now forswear its sight? For I ne'er saw true beauty till this night.
Romeo. This by his voice should be a Montague. Fetch me my rapier, boy.
Sir.
What dares the slave come hither covered with an antic face to fleer and scorn at our solemnity? Now by the stock and honour of my kin, to strike him dead I hold it not a sin.
Why, how now, Tipple? Wherefore storm you so?
Uncle, this is a Montague, our foe. A villain that is hither come in spite to scorn at our solemnity this night.
Young Romeo, is it?
'Tis he, that villain Romeo.
Tent thee, cars, let him alone. I would not for the wealth of all this town here in my house do him disparagement. Therefore be patient, take no note of him.
I'll not endure him.
He shall be endured. I say he shall. Go to. Am I the master here or you? Go to. You'll not endure him. God shall mend my soul. You'll make a mutiny among my guests. You will set cock-a-hoop. You'll be the man. Go to. Go to. Go to.
Cheerly, my hearts! I will withdraw, but this intrusion shall, now seeming sweet, convert to bitterest gall.
If I profane with my unworthiest a gentle sin as this, my lips, two blushing pilgrims, ready stand to smooth the rough touch with a tender kiss.
Good pilgrim, you do wrong your hand too much, which mannerly devotion shows in this. For saints have hands that pilgrims' hands do touch, and palm to palm is holy palmer's kiss.
Have not saints lips, and holy palmers too?
Aye, pilgrim, lips that they must use in prayer.
Oh, then, dear saint, let lips do what hands do, they pray. Grant thou, lest faith turn to despair.
Saints do not move, though grant for prayer's sake.
Then move not while my prayer's effect I take. Thus from my lips, by thine, my sin is purged.
Then have my lips the sin that they have took.
Sin from my lips? Oh, trespass sweetly urged, give me my sin again.
You kiss by the book.
Madam, your mother craves a word with you.
What is her mother?
Married bachelor, her mother is the lady of the house, and a good lady, and a wise and virtuous. I nursed her daughter that you talked with all. I tell you, he that can lay hold of her shall have the chinks.
Is she a Capulet? Oh, dear account, my life is my foe's debt.
Away be gone, the sport is at the best.
Aye, so I fear. The more is my unrest.
Nay, gentlemen, prepare not to be gone. We have a trifling foolish banquet towards.
My lord.
Even so. Well, then, I thank you all. I thank you, honest gentlemen. Good night. Good night. More torches here. Come on, then. Let's to bed.
Come hither, nurse. Huh? What is yon gentleman?
The son and heir of old Tiberio.
What's he that now is going out of door?
May I think that be young Patricia.
What's he that follows there that would not dance?
Oh, I know not.
Go, ask his name.
Oh, aye, madam.
If he be Marriott, my grave is like to be my wedding bed.
His name is Romeo, and a Montague, the only son of your great enemy.
My only love sprung from my only hate. Too early seen unknown, and known too late. Prodigious birth of love it is to me that I must love a loathed enemy.
What's this? What's this?
A rhyme I learned even now of one I danced with all.
Juliet!
Anon!
Juliet!
Anon! Come, let's away. The strangers all are gone.
Juliet!
Can I go forward when my heart is here? Turn back, dull earth, and find thy centre out.
Romeo! My cousin! Romeo!
He's wise, and on my life hath stolen him home to bed.
He ran this way and leapt this orchard wall. Call, good Mercutio.
Nay, I'll conjure too.
Romeo! Humours!
Madman!
Passion!
Lover! Appear thou in the likeness of a sigh. Speak but one rhyme, and I'm satisfied. He heareth not, he stirreth not, he moveth not. The ape is dead, and I must conjure him. I conjure thee by Rosaline's bright eyes, by her high forehead and her scarlet lip, by her fine foot, straight leg, and quivering thigh, and the domains that there adjacent lie, that in thy likeness thou appear to us.
Come, he hath hid himself amongst these trees to be consorted with the humorous night. Blind is his love, and best befits the dark.
If love be blind, love cannot hit the mark. Romeo, good night. I'll to my truckle bed. This field bed is too cold for me to sleep. Come, shall we go?
Go then. For 'tis in vain to seek him here that means not to be found.
He jests at scars that never felt a wound, but suffered. What light through yonder window breaks? It is the east, and Juliet is the sun. Arise, fair sun, and kill the envious moon, who is already sick and pale with grief that thou her maid art far more fair than she. Be not her maid, since she is envious. Her vestal livery is but sick and green, and none but fools do wear it. Cast it off. It is my lady. Oh, it is my love. Oh, that she knew she were. She speaks, yet she says nothing. What of that? Her eye discourses. I will answer it. I am too bold. It is not to me she speaks. Two of the fairest stars in all their heaven, having some business, do entreat her eyes to twinkle in their spheres till they return. What if her eyes were there, they in her head? The brightness of her cheek would shame those stars as daylight doth a lamp. Her eye in heaven would through the airy region stream so bright that birds would sing, and think it were not night. See how she leans her cheek upon her hand. Oh, that I were a glove upon that hand, that I might touch that cheek.
Me?
She speaks. Oh, speak again, bright angel. For thou art as glorious to this night, being o'er my head, as is a winged messenger of heaven unto the white upturned wondering eyes of mortals, that fall back to gaze on him when he bestrides the lazy pacing clouds, and sails upon the bosom of the air.
Romeo, wherefore art thou Romeo? Deny thy father and refuse thy name, or if thou wilt not be but sworn my love, and I'll no longer be a Capulet.
Shall I hear more, or shall I speak at this?
'Tis but thy name that is my enemy. Thou art thyself, though not a Montague. What's Montague? It is nor hand, nor foot, nor arm, nor face, nor any other part belonging to a man. Oh, be some other name. What's in a name? That which we call a rose by any other name would smell as sweet. So Romeo would, were he not Romeo called, retain that dear perfection which he owes without that title. Romeo, doff thy name, and for thy name, which is no part of thee, take all myself.
I take thee at thy word. Call me but love, and I'll be new baptized. Henceforth I never will be Romeo.
What man art thou that thus bescreenst tonight, so stumblest on my counsel?
By a name. I know not how to tell thee who I am. My name, dear saint, is hateful to myself because it is an enemy to thee. Had I it written, I would tear the word.
My ears have not yet drunk 100 words of thy tongue's uttering, yet I know the sound. Art thou not Romeo and a Montague?
Neither, fair maid, if either thee dislike.
How camest thou hither? Tell me, and wherefore? The orchard walls are high and hard to climb, and the place death, considering who thou art, if any of my kinsmen find thee here.
With love's light wings did I o'erperch these walls, for stony limits cannot hold love out, and what love can do, that dares love attempt. Therefore thy kinsmen are no stop to me.
If they do see thee, they will murder thee.
Alack, there lies more peril in thine eye than 20 of their swords. Look thou but sweet, and I am proof against their enmity.
I would not for the world they saw thee here.
I have night's cloak to hide me from their eyes, and but thou love me,
Let them find me here. My life were better ended by their hate than death prorogued, wanting of thy love.
By whose direction foundst thou out this place?
By love, that first did prompt me to inquire. He lent me counsel, and I lent him eyes. I am no pilot, yet wert thou as far as that vast shore washed with the farthest sea, I should adventure for such
know'st
merchandise.
the mask of night is on my face, else would a maiden blush bepaint my cheek for that which thou hast heard me speak tonight. Fain would I dwell on form, fain deny what I have spoke, but farewell compliment. Dost thou love me? I know thou wilt say aye, and I will take thy word, yet if thou swear'st thou mayst prove false. At lovers' perjuries they say Jove laughs. O gentle Romeo, if thou dost love, pronounce it faithfully. Or if thou thinkst I am too quickly won, I'll frown and be perverse and say thee nay, so thou wilt woo. But else, not for the world. In truth, fair Montague, I am too fond, and therefore thou mayst think my behaviour light. But trust me, gentleman, I'll prove more true than those that have more cunning to be strange. I should have been more strange, I must confess, but that thou overheardst ere I was where my true love passion. Therefore, pardon me, and not impute this yielding to light love which the dark night has so discovered.
Lady, by yonder blessed moon, I vow that tips with silver all these fruit tree tops.
Oh, swear not by the moon, the inconstant moon that monthly changes in her circled orb, lest that thy love prove likewise variable.
What shall I swear by?
Do not swear at all. Or if thou wilt, swear by thy gracious self, which is the god of my idolatry, and I'll believe thee.
If my heart's dear love...
Well, do not swear. Although I joy in thee, I have no joy of this contract tonight. It is too rash, too unadvised, too sudden, too like the lightning which does cease to be ere one can say, it lightens. Sweet good night. This bud of love, by summer's ripening breath, may prove a beauteous flower when next we meet. Good night. Good night. A sweet repose and rest come to thy heart as that within my breast.
Wilt thou leave me so unsatisfied?
What satisfaction canst thou have tonight?
The exchange of thy love's faithful vow for mine.
I gave thee mine before thou didst request it, and yet I would it were to give again.
Wouldst thou withdraw it? For what purpose, love?
But to be frank, and give it thee again. And yet I wish but for the thing I have. My bounty is as boundless as the sea, my love as deep. The more I give to thee, the more I have, for both are infinite. Oh, I hear some noise within. Dear love, adieu.
Madam!
Anon, goodness. Sweet Montague, be true, stay but a little, I will come again.
Oh, blessed, I am afraid being a night, all this is but a dream. Too flattering sweet to be substantial.
3 words, dear Romeo, and then good night indeed. If that thy bent of love be honourable, thy purpose marriage, send me word tomorrow by one that I'll procure to come to thee, where and what time to perform the rite. And all my fortunes at thy foot I'll lay, and follow thee, my lord, throughout the world.
Madam!
I come anon. But if thou meanst not well, I do beseech thee.
Madam!
By and by I come, to cease thy suit and leave me to my grief. Tomorrow will I send.
So thrive my soul.
1,000 times good night.
1,000 times the worse to want thy light. Love goes toward love as schoolboys from their books, but love from love toward school with heavy looks.
St. Romeo. St. Oh, for a Faulkner's voice to lure this tasseled gentle back again. Bondage is hoarse, and may not speak aloud, Else would I tear the cave where Echo lies, and make her airy tongue more hoarse than mine with repetition of my Romeo's name.
It is my soul that calls upon my name. How silver sweet sound lovers' tongues by night, like softest music to attending ears.
Romeo!
My dear!
At what o'clock tomorrow shall I send to thee?
By the hour of 9.
I will not fail. 'Tis 20 year till then. I have forgot why I did call thee back.
Let me stand here till thou remember it.
I shall forget to have thee still stand there, remembering how I love thy company.
And I'll still stay, to have thee still forget. Forgetting any other home but this.
'Tis almost morning. I would have thee gone, and yet no further than a wanton's bird who lets it hop a little from her hand like a poor prisoner in his twisted gyves, and with a silk thread plucks it back again, so loving, jealous of his liberty.
I would I were thy bird.
Sweet, so would I. Yet I should kill thee with much cherishing. Good night. Good night. Parting is such sweet sorrow that I shall say good night till it be morrow.
Sleep dwell upon thine eyes, peace in thy breast. Would I were sleep and peace so sweet to rest. Hence will I to my ghostly father's cell, his help to crave, and my dear hap to tell.
The grey-eyed morn smiles on the frowning night, checkering the eastern clouds with streaks of light, and flecked darkness like a drunkard reels from forth day's path, and tightens fiery wheels. Now, ere the sun advance his burning eye, the day to cheer and night's dank dew to dry, I must upfill this osier cage of ours with baleful weeds and precious dew-set flowers. Mickle is the powerful grace that lies in plants, herbs, stones, and their true qualities. For naught so vile that on the earth doth live, but to the earth some special good doth give. Within the infant rind of this weak flower, poison hath residence, and medicine power.
Good morrow, father.
Benedicite, what early tongue so soon saluteth me? Young son, it argues a distempered head so soon to bid good morrow to thy bed. Or, if not so, then here I hit it right. Our Romeo hath not been in bed tonight.
That last is true. The sweeter rest was mine.
God pardon sin. Wast thou with Rosaline?
With Rosaline? My ghostly father, no. I have forgot that name. And that name's woe. I have been feasting with mine enemy, where on a sudden one hath wounded me. That's by me wounded. Both our remedies within thy help and holy physic lie.
Be plain, good son, and homely in thy drift. Riddling confession finds but riddling shrift.
Then plainly no. My heart's dear love is set on the fair daughter of rich Capulet. As mine on hers, so hers is set on mine, and all combined, save what thou must combine by holy marriage. When and where and how we met, we wooed, and made exchange of vow, I'll tell thee as we pass. But this I pray, that thou consent to marry us today.
Holy St. Francis, what a change is here. Is Rosaline that thou didst love so dear, so soon forsaken? Young men's love then lies not truly in their hearts, but in their eyes.
I pray thee, chide me not. Her I love now doth grace for grace, and love for love allow. The other did not so.
Oh, she knew well thy love did read by rote that could not spell. But come, young waverer, come, go with me. In one respect I'll thy assistant be, for this alliance may so happy prove. to turn your household's rancour to pure love.
Oh, let us hence! I stand on sudden haste.
Wisely and slow, they stumble that run far.
Where the devil should this Romeo be? Came he not home tonight?
Not to his father's. I spoke with his man.
Why, that same pale, hard-hearted wench, that Rosaline torments him so that he will sure run mad.
Tybalt, the kinsman to old Capulet, hath sent a letter to his father's house.
A challenge on my life.
Romeo will answer it.
Any man that can write may answer a letter.
Nay, he will answer the letter's master, how he dares being dead.
Alas, poor Romeo is already dead, stabbed with a white wench's black eye, run through the ear with a love song, the very pin of his heart cleft with the blind bow boy's butt shaft. And is he a man to encounter Tybalt?
Why, what is Tybalt?
More than Prince of Cats. Huh? Oh, he's the courageous captain of compliments. He fights as you sing brick song, keeps time, distance, and proportion. He rests his minim rest, 1, 2, and a third in your bosom, the very butcher of a silk button, a duellist, a gentleman of the very first house, of the first and second cause. Oh, the immortal passado, the punto reverso, the hey!
The what?
The pox of such antic, lisping, affecting fantasticos, these new tuners of accents. By Jesu, a very good blade, a very tall man, a very good whore. Why, is not this a lamentable thing, grandsire, that we should be thus afflicted with these strange flies, these fashion-mongers, these pardonnez-moi, who stand so much on the new form they cannot sit at ease on the old bench. Oh, their bones, their bones.
Here comes Romeo. Here comes Romeo.
Without his roe, like a dried herring, oh flesh, flesh, how art thou fishified? Signor Romeo, bonjour. There's a French salutation to your French slop. You gave us the counterfeit fairly last night.
Good morning to you, Beth. What counterfeit did I give you?
The
pardon, good Mercutio. My business was great, and in such a case as mine, a man may strain courtesy.
That's as much as to say, such a case as yours constrains a man to bow in the hams.
A most courteous exposition.
Nay, I'm the very pink of courtesy.
Pink for flower?
Right.
Why, then, is my pump well flowered?
Sure wit. Follow me this jest now, till thou hast worn out thy pump, that when the single soul of it is worn, the jest may remain after the wearing solely singular.
Oh! Single-souled jest. Solely singular for the singleness.
Why is not this better now than groaning for love? Now art thou sociable, now art thou Romeo.
Peter?
Here's a goodly gear.
Peter!
None.
A sail, a sail.
Two, a shirt and a smock.
My fan, Peter.
Good Peter, to hide her face, for her fan's the fairer face.
God ye good morrow, gentlemen.
God ye good den, fair gentlewoman.
Is it good, then?
Oh, 'tis no less, I tell ye, for the bawdy hand of the dial is now upon the prick of noon.
Out upon you! What a man are you?
One gentlewoman that God hath made himself to mar.
By my troth, it is well said for himself to mar, quoth he. Gentlemen, can any of you tell me where I may find the young Romeo?
I can tell you. But young Romeo will be older when you have found him than he was when you sought him. I am the youngest of that name, for fault of the worse.
You say well.
Yea, is the worst well, very well took, your faith. Wisely, wisely.
If you be he, sir, I desire some confidence with you.
She will indict him to some supper.
What? Abort! So, oh, Romeo, will you come to your father's wheel to dinner thither?
I will follow you.
Farewell, ancient lady.
Oh.
Farewell, lady.
Oh, I pray you, sir, what saucy merchant was this that was so full of his ropery?
A gentleman, nurse, that loves to hear himself talk and will speak more in a minute than he will stand to in a month.
And to speak anything against me, I'll take him down. And it were lustier than he is, and 20 such jacks. And if I cannot, I'll find those that shall, scurvy knave. I'm none of his flirt fills. I'm none of his skeins mates. Aye, and Peter, thou must stand by too and suffer every knave to use me at his pleasure.
sword. No man used you at his pleasure.
Oh.
If I had, my weapon should quickly have been out.
Oh!
I warrant you, I dare draw as soon as another man if I see occasion in a good quarrel.
For God,
And the law's on
I
my
am
side.
so vexed that every part about me quivers. Scurvy knave! Pray you say a word. And as I told you, my young lady bid me inquire you out. What she bid me say, I will keep to myself. But first let me tell you, if you should lead her in a fool's paradise, as they say, it were a very gross kind of behaviour, as they say. For the gentlewoman is young, and therefore if you should deal double with her, truly it were an ill thing to be offered to any gentlewoman, and very weak dealing.
Nurse, commend me to thy lady and mistress. I protest unto thee.
Good heart, and if faith I will tell her as much. Lord, she'll be a joyful woman.
What wilt thou tell her, nurse? Thou dost not mock me.
I will tell her, sir, that you do protest, which, as I take it, is a gentlemanlike offer.
Bid her devise some means to come to shrift this afternoon, and there she shall, at Friar Laurence' cell, be shrived and married. Here is for thy pains.
No, truly, sir, not a penny.
Go to, I say you shall.
This afternoon, sir. Well, she shall be there.
And stay, good nurse, behind the abbey wall. Within this hour my man shall be with thee, and bring thee cords made like a tackled stair, which to the high top gallant of my joy must be my convoy in the secret night.
Oh.
Farewell, be trusty, and I'll quit thy pains. Farewell. Commend me to thy mistress.
Aye, 1,000 times. Peter?
Anon.
Before and apace. Peter, take me fan and go.
The clock struck 9 when I did send the nurse. In half an hour she promised to return. Perchance she cannot meet him. That's not so. Oh, she is lame. Love's herald should be thought, which 10 times faster glides than the sun's beams, driving back shadows over lowering hills. Had she affections and warm youthful blood, she would be as swift in motion as a ball. My word would bandy her to my sweet love, and his to me. But old folks many fain as they were dead, unwieldy, slow, heavy, pale as lead. Oh, God, she comes! Oh, honey nurse, what news? Hast thou met with him? Send thy man away.
Peter, stay at the gate.
Now, good sweet nurse. Oh, Lord, why look'st thou sad? Though news be sad, yet tell them merrily. If good, thou shamest the music of sweet news by playing it to me with so sour a face.
I am a-weary. Give me leave a while. Fie, me bones ache. What a jaunts have I.
I would thou hadst my bones and I thy news. Nay, come, I pray thee, speak. Good nurse, speak.
Jesu, what haste. Can you not stay a while? Do you not see that I am out of breath?
How art thou out of breath when thou hast breath to say to me that thou art out of breath? The excuse that thou dost make in this delay is longer than the tale thou dost excuse. Is thy news good or bad? Answer to that. Say either, and I'll stay the circumstance. Let me be satisfied. Is good or bad?
Well, you have made a simple choice. You know not how to choose a man. Romeo? No, not he. Though his face be better than any man's, yet his leg excels all men's. And for a hand and a foot and a body, though they be not to be talked on, yet they pass compare. He's not the flower of courtesy, but I'll warrant him as gentle as a lamb. Go the ways, wench, serve God. What, have you dined at home?
No, but all this I didn't know before. What says he of our marriage? What of that?
Lord, how my head aches. Oh, what a head have I. It beats as it would fall in 20 pieces. My back, oh, t'other side. Oh, my back. Beshrew your heart for sending me about to catch me death with jouncing up and down.
Ye faith, I am sorry that thou art not well. Sweet. Sweet nurse. Tell me, what says my love?
Your love Says like an honest gentleman. And a courteous. And a kind. And a handsome. And a warrant of virtuous. Where's your mother?
Where is my mother? Why, she is within. Where should she be? How oddly thou repliest. Your love says like an honest gentleman, where is your mother?
Oh, God's lady dear, are you so hot? Marry, come up, I trow. Is this the poultice for my aching bones? Henceforward do your messages yourself.
Oh, he's such a coil. Come, what says Romeo?
Got leave to go to shrift today.
I have.
Then hie you hence to Friar Laurence' cell. There stays a husband to make you a wife. Now comes the wanton blood up in your cheeks. They'll be in scarlet straight at any news. Hie you to church. I must another way to fetch a ladder by the which your love must climb a bird's nest soon when it is dark. I'm the drudge and toil in your delight, but you shall bear the burden soon at night. Go, I'll to dinner. Hie you to the cell.
Hie to high fortune. Honestness. Farewell.
So smile the heavens upon this holy act, that after hours with sorrow chide us not.
Amen, amen. But come what sorrow can, it cannot countervail the exchange of joy that one short minute gives me in her sight. Do thou but close our hands with holy words, then love devouring death, do what he dare. It is enough, I may but call her mine.
These violent delights have violent ends, and in their triumph die, like fire and powder, which as they kiss, consume. The sweetest honey is loathsome in his own deliciousness, and in the taste confounds the appetite. Therefore love moderately. Long love doth so, too swift arrives as tardy as too slow.
No.
Here comes the lady. Oh, so light a foot will ne'er wear out the everlasting flint. A lover may bestride the gossamer that idles in the wanton summer air, and yet not fall. So light is vanity.
Oh, good evening to my ghostly confessor.
Oh, Juliet, if the measure of thy joy be heaped like mine, and that thy skill be more to blazon it, then sweeten with thy breath this neighbour air, and let rich music's tongue unfold the imagined happiness that both receive in either by this dear encounter.
Conceit more rich in matter than in words brags of his substance, not of ornament. They are but beggars that can count their worth. But my true love is grown to such excess I cannot sum up some of half my wealth.
Come with me, and we will make short work, for by your leaves you shall not stay alone, till Holy Church incorporate two in one.
I pray thee, good Mercutio, let's retire. The day is hot, the Capulets abroad, and if we meet, we shall not scape a brawl. For now these hot days is the mad blood stirring.
Thou art like one of these fellows that when he enters the confines of a tavern, claps me his sword on the table, and says, God, send me no need of thee, and by the operation of the second cup draws him on the draw, when indeed there is no need.
Am I like such a fellow?
Nay, and there were two such, we should have none shortly, for one would kill the other. Thou? Why, thou wilt quarrel with a man that hath a hair more or a hair less in his beard than thou hast.
And I was so apt to quarrel as thou art. By my head, here come the Capulets.
By my heel, I care not.
Follow me close, for I will speak to them. Gentlemen, good dame, a word with one of you.
And but one word with one of us? Couple it with something. Make it a word and a blow.
You shall find me apt enough to that, sir, and you will give me occasion.
Could you not take some occasion without giving?
Mercutio, thou consortest with Romeo.
Consort? What, dost thou make us minstrels? And thou make minstrels of us, look to hear nothing but discords. Here's my fiddlestick. Here's that shall make you dance. Zounds, consort.
We talk here in the public haunt of men. Either withdraw unto some private place, or reason coldly of your grievances, or else depart. Here all eyes gaze on us.
Men's eyes were made to look, and let them gaze. I will not budge for no man's pleasure, I.
Mercutio, Benvolio.
And peace be with you, sir. Here comes my man.
But I'll be hanged, sir, if he wear your livery.
Tybalt. Romeo, the love I bear thee can afford no better term than this. Thou art a villain.
Tybalt, the reason that I have to love thee doth much excuse the appertaining rage to such a greeting. Villain am I none. Therefore, farewell, I see thou know'st me not.
Boy! This shall not excuse the injuries thou hast done me. Therefore turn and draw.
I do protest I never injured thee, but love thee better than thou canst devise, till thou shalt know the reason of my love, and so, good Capulet, which name I tender as dearly as mine own. Be satisfied.
Oh, calm, dishonourable, vile submission. A stoccata carries it away. Tybalt, you rat catcher, will you walk?
What wouldst thou have with me?
Good king of cats. Nothing but one of your 9 lives that I mean to make bold withal, and as you shall use me hereafter, dry beat the rest of the 8. Will you pluck your sword out of his pilcher by the ears? Make haste, lest mind me about your ears ere it be out.
I am for you.
Gentle Mercutio, put thy rapier up.
Come, sir, your passado.
Draw, Benvolio, beat down their weapons. Gentlemen, for shame, forbear this outrage. Tybalt, Mercutio, the prince expressly hath forbid this bandying in Verona streets. Hold, Tybalt! Good Mercutio?
I'm hurt. A plague of both your houses. I'm sped. Is he gone and hath nothing?
What, art thou hurt?
Aye. A scratch. Marry, 'tis enough. Where's my page?
Sir?
Go, villain. Fetch a surgeon.
Sir?
Courage, man, the hurt cannot be much.
No, 'tis not so deep as well, nor so wide as a church door, but 'tis enough, 'twill serve. Ask for me tomorrow, and you shall find me a grave man. I'm peppered, I warrant, for this world. A plague about your houses. A dog, a rat, a mouse, a cat, to scratch a man to death. A braggart, a rogue, a villain that fights by the book of arithmetic. Why the devil came you between us? I was hurt under your arm.
I thought all for the best.
Oh, help me into some house, Benvolio, or I shall faint. A plague of both your houses. They've made worms meat of me. I have it soundly too. Your houses.
This gentleman, the prince, is near Alaim, my very friend, hath got this mortal hurt in my behalf. My reputation stained with Tybalt's slander, Tybalt that an hour hath been my cousin. Oh, sweet Juliet, thy beauty hath made me effeminate, and in my temper softened valor's steel.
Oh, Romeo, brave Mercutio's dead. That gallant spirit hath aspired the clouds.
This day's black fate on more days doth depend. This but begins the woe others must end.
Here comes the furious Tybalt back again.
Alive, in triumph, and Mercutio slain. Away to heaven, respective lenity, and fire and fury be my conduct now. Now, Tybalt, take the villain back again that late thou gavest to me, for Mercutio's soul is but a little way above our heads, staying for thine to keep him company. Either thou, or I, or both must go with him.
Thou wretched boy that didst consort him here, shalt with him hence.
This shall determine that.
Romeo! Away, begone! The citizens are up and Tybalt slain! Stand not amazed! The prince will doom thee death if thou art taken! Hence, begone away!
Oh, I am fortune's fool!
Why dost thou stay?
Which way ran he that killed Mercutio?
Tybalt, that murderer! Which way ran he?
Where are the vile beginners of this fray?
O noble prince, there lies the man slain by young Romeo, that slew thy kinsman, brave Mercutio.
Tybalt, my cousin! Oh, my brother's child! Princess, thou art true, for blood of ours shed blood of Montague.
Benvolio, who began this bloody fray?
Tybalt, here slain, whom Romeo's hand did slay. Romeo that spoke him fair, bid him bethink how nice the quarrel was, and urged withal your high displeasure. All this uttered with gentle breath, calm look, knees humbly bowed, could not take truce with the unruly spleen of Tybalt, deaf to peace. But that he tilts with piercing steel at bold Mercutio's breast. Romeo, he cries aloud, hold friends, friends part, and swifter than his tongue his agile arm beats down their fatal points, and twixt them rushes. Underneath whose arm an envious thrust from Tybalt hit the life of stout Mercutio. And then Tybalt fled. But by and by comes back to Romeo, who had but newly entertained revenge, and to it they go like lightning. For ere I could draw to part them, was stout Tybalt slain, and as he fell did Romeo turn and fly. This is the truth, or let Benvolio die.
He is a kinsman to the Montague. Affection makes him false, he speaks not true. Some 20 of them fought in this black strife, and all those 20 could but kill one life. I beg for justice, which thou, prince, must give. Romeo slew Tybalt. Romeo must not live.
Romeo slew him, he slew Mercutio. Who now the price of his dear blood doth owe?
Not Romeo, prince. He was Mercutio's friend. His fault concludes but what the law should end the life of Tybalt.
And for that offence, immediately we do exile him hence. I will be deaf to pleading and excuses. Nor tears nor prayers shall purchase out abuses. Therefore use none. Let Romeo hence in haste, else when he's found, that hour is his last. Bear hence this body, and attend our will. Mercy but murders, pardoning those that kill.